So I'm at the WCU campus trails in Kalauhi, North Carolina. I'm on the lower Long Branch Loop trail. Unfortunately, it has been raining and this trail is very wet. So I'm just going to try to take it somewhat slow, nice and easy. Try not to get too muddy and try not to tear up the trail. I'm not out here to win any kind of contest of any type. So just take it easy. Down there to my right, which you can't see, is the, if I remember correctly, the Health and Human Sciences building. So that's where I parked. So disappointing that it's wet, because I'm gonna have to go slow. I mean, it's my decision to go slow, but you know, I don't feel like getting frickin' muddy. Plus it's dangerous. But that's what's disappointing about the fact that it's wet, is I can't hit the trail like I'd really like to. Going downhill, here's my first switchel back. I really don't know much of anything about these trails. Tried to do a little bit of research on them, but by research I mean basically after learning that they exist. Watching videos on the old YouTube. Yes, I watched some, but I don't think I watched a lot. And I will be going slow, as I said. And trails being wet, it's kind of, for me, takes all the fun out of it. I'd like to be going faster. And so, I don't know what the difference is. There's another switch back there. Between why the trail conditions were, for the most part, a good bit drier at Fire Mountain earlier this morning, and then being wet over here. Although it did rain after I hit Fire Mountain this morning, and it's very possible I may have gotten more rain over here than in Cherokee. So this Kalauhi connector, all of it's down. And looks like it would be a hoot when it's dry. So right now I can't even really enjoy it, and it's gonna whoop my ass coming back up it, because I'm probably gonna have to walk most of it. So BKXC says pain and pleasure. Yeah, I'm gonna have the pain later, I'm sure. I don't know where the pleasure is gonna come in. Especially since I don't have any beer. I have to remedy that. It must be illegal to purchase or sell, or both, alcohol in Cherokee, because when I went into gas station yesterday and a place to pick up some cheap cigars, two separate places, neither one of them had any beer. But now that I'm out of Cherokee, I can find a gas station might have some. And we continue to descend down this wet ass Kalali connector at about 2 miles an hour. And I see structures over to my left. Here, a highway. There has been an absolute enormous amount of these big ants. Hello, squirrel. 3/8 to half an inch long, maybe a little longer. I passed a few minutes ago two sections on the trail where they had their little holes or tunnels exposed, and that's interesting. Just constant activity going in and out of there. Holes are big holes for big ants. For some reason it's not quite as wet right there. That's short-lived. So yes, I have to traverse back up every bit of this. Every bit of it. And again, this would be fun if it was dry. Going under a power line. Oh, it's only like 2 feet above my head. Some building to my left down there. Switchback. Another switchback. There's another one. Another one. And another one. Okay, so I made it down to the bottom of this Kalali connector and turned around, coming back up. Some blackberries at the bottom. So I sampled some of those. Tasty little trailside treat. Of course, it left me with wanting more. So the plan, I think, take this connector back up, although I'm going down right now, to the upper Long Branch loop, which I want to say is either 1.4 or 1.5 miles. And that will intersect me back with the lower Long Branch loop, and I can take that back down to, I think it's called the HHS connector, which is the initial trail / climb ascent that I hit right out of the parking lot. And right now, still got my suspension completely locked out. I had it locked out, I'd say more of the day than not, because of all the climbing. And so back at the bottom of that connector, where I just was, there was a little pond. I was going to go check it out because it looked pretty from what I could see. Then I saw a sign that said no fishing. So that was a disappointment. So I think there's a squirrel. That's when I just turned around and came back up this trail, because I did bring my trout rod, lightweight rod, some lightweight lures, and my waders, which I did try fishing a little bit yesterday at the campground in the Okanalufti River. No luck. Saw a few guys fishing in it right down from a campsite when I went back for lunch. You're supposed to buy a permit basically from the Indian reservation to fish in their waters. Alright, so I made it back at that Kalhowie connector to the intersection of Lower and Upper Long Branch Loop, and I am headed up Upper Long Branch right now. Oh my goodness, there was some gorgeous blackberries. So as I was saying, I'm headed up Upper Long Branch Loop. To my surprise, I didn't have to walk nearly as much at Kalhowie connector as I thought I would. And I still had to walk some, and I anticipate having to walk some on this too. Well, you talk about sweating. I sweat so much. Big beard. The sweat just rolls down my face, collects on my beard, then drips on the camera. Hey, another water hole. Not the right kind of water hole. Well, I have to keep turning the camera off and on, because there seem to be fun spots and then boring spots. Fun spots and boring spots. A little bit of downhill, then uphill. And we got to switch them back. I'm starting to put my inside foot out in those switchbacks. I don't know if it's just giving me a false sense of security or not, but it seems to help the balance. And I do seem to have more confidence in hitting the switchbacks with my leg out like that. But just on the tight ones. Yabba-dabba-doo. I sure could go for one of my cold fruit punch Gatorades right now, followed by a second one, because they are so good. Very wet. You're very, very, very wet. Well, here, as you can see, is a nice overlook off of the upper branch loop trail. Off in the distance, in the direction I'm looking now, I think I can hear perhaps a band practicing. I hear drums. I don't know if any of that's part of I don't think any of that's part of that WCU campus, but that may be the road that I drove in on. But it sure is pretty. Alright, so I'm headed down, still on that upper branch loop trail, but I'm headed down now, and I'm got to be close to getting back to the truck because I see a road just directly below me, and I am craving a Gatorade. That's something interesting. Makeshift memorial or something. That's okay. Anyway, so I have been drinking those Gatorades, but lemon lime, I think, and been getting them from Wally World. They didn't have them the other day, but they had the fruit punch, and I didn't know if I'd like it as much as the lemon lime, but my goodness. Ooh, an ice cold fruit punch Gatorade when you're hot and been riding, tuckered out. Holy moly, it's heaven. Heaven in a plastic bottle. Alright, so right back there was another intersection if I wanted to hit a couple more trails, which I'm not doing today. Oh, I should have lowered my seat or saddle. Makes it sound like I'm riding a horse. Okay, here's an intersection. Yep, there's the tire tracks. Must be a switchback. Oh boy. Wet. Another one. And again, these trails would be a whole lot more fun if it wasn't wet. Didn't like how I hit that root at an angle. Alright, so that's it. That is WCU trail system, as far as what I'm doing. So, appreciate y'all watching. And we're gonna put the bike up on the rack, squirt it off a little bit, give me a Gatorade, and head on. I'll see you next time.